When it comes to inflation, history repeats itself. I had a chuckle at this article or letter in the New York Times dated December 20th, 1909, by my man, what's this guy's name? George Albert Gallatin. Albert Gallatin. The government adds its share and then investigates cost of living. It is not highly amusing that the federal government should have appointed a commission to investigate the causes that lie back of present high cost of living. Now, the irony of it all is let me just read this. We'll come back to it. I got two dogs wanting to. It would be quite as logical for a person to steal another's watch and then appoint a commission to discover what had become of it. It cannot be denied that gold inflation, excessive profits by the retailers, concentration of population in the cities, and actual pressure on the sources of food supply are contributing causes to the conditions existing. But above all these, in importance is the very activity of the government itself. Pure food bills, with a countless number of inspectors to enforce them, like pasteurization and all that. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a second. Now, I don't know if pasteurization already happened in 1909. I don't know, but the inspections of the USDA, the FDA, and all that, whatever the predecessors to these groups were, we got to make sure it's safe. Salmonella and all that. Pure food bills with a countless number of inspectors continued in increasing interference by commissions and private businesses. Regulation. A fraudulent and inflated pension bill. I think that was a pension bill for the veterans of. If memory serves. Inefficiency and extravagance of the public service, these all contribute to the high prices of food. Someone has to pay for all this boon-cum and political flummery, and it is, of course, the consuming public which eventually foots the bill in the form of increased taxes, higher rents, and almost prohibitive price for food. The wonder of it all is that these people can submit themselves cheerfully to such wholesale exploitation. Yet the cry still goes forth for more government and more commissions, as if an unlimited extension of this sort of activity were a cure-all for each and every ill that oppresses the body politic. What a great letter. I don't know what happened to my man Albert Gallatin, but such a good freaking letter. The price of healthcare is too high. We need more regulation. What caused the price of healthcare to be so high? The regulation. Student loans are too much. We need more student loan regulation. What caused the student loans to be too high? More government regulation. It's the same thing over and over again. So my man Albert got it. But the funny thing is, I don't know if it's actually that funny, but check this out. We're going to go to, remember, this is 1909. And right here, we see we had actually deflation in 1909 for the CPI. Look at that. Negative 2.1% in 1908, negative 1.1% in 1909. Isn't that interesting? So inflation during those times was actually deflation. Now but right here, 1907 was 4.4%, which was the highest on record, I think. Yep, going back to 1871, by far and away the highest on record. So here we are griping. I mean, look, but here we are griping when it's down 1.1, and they're saying the high cost of living. Well, because it's all relative, man. It's all relative. And then the next year is up 4.4%. So we had a significant increase 1907, a significant increase in 1910. But that was sandwiched between two deflationary years. Isn't that interesting? The point about that is the CPI inflation numbers are always suspect, for sure, man. 100% for sure. Along those lines, let me show you something else. Chart from the New York Times. Again, this is January. Actually, I can't even see that. Hold on a second. Let me make it bigger. Hold on a second. January 31st, 1909, and we'll see today, the cost of living today is a serious problem with every wage earner in the country. And what you're going to see today is relative wholesale and retail prices of food in the U.S. Simple averages 1890 to 1907. And you can see from 1890, it just fell off a cliff. The wholesale is in the dark black, the retail is in the checkered, or I guess say the broken lines. All right, so it went, and then from 1896, this is food stuff now, all right? This is what matters. I tell you, you can talk about CPI all you want. It's actually food that matters, man. And you can see it's down to 84 and it went all the way up to right? Let's see, we can go down to retail, 96 to 122 So let's take a look what that is increase over time. Let me grab my calculator. Excuse me, buddy. Okay, for the retail price, that's in 1896. It was at 96, and then 10 years, 11 years later, it's at 121. So we go from 96 is our present value. What do you say? 11 years end, zero payment, 121 future value. That's an increase of 2% a year, 2.1% a year. And people are griping. Well, of course they were griping because they weren't used to that kind of increases, if that makes sense. I know it seems like, what were they griping about 2.1%? Well, if you're used to before that, inflation going the other direction, the price of foodstuffs, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, zhoops. Now we can look at wholesale prices, went from 84 to 118. So go to 84 to 118, and that is an increase of 3.13%. Again, everything's relative, my friends. I mean, the serious cost of the cost of living today is a serious problem. Housewives ask why they are confronted with wartime prices, given for an upward tendency with which wages have not kept pace. And that's again, too, see, this might be relative, but if your wages aren't keeping up with a 2.1% increase in foodstuffs, that's a big deal. Anyway, and what was happening then was the same thing: more government regulation, more expansionary government. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. And here we are again. We got to beat inflation now with more government, with Biden and price controls and Nixon. And it's just people are freaking dumb. But there you go, man. This isn't the first time we've been through this rodeo, and it won't be the last. I love to hear your thoughts. We'll see ya.